So today I'm going to tell you about my favorite lenses for lifestyle, family, and portrait photography sessions. Now, people ask me all the time, what's your favorite or what are the best ones? And I want to tell you about 3 of the best ones. And it really boils down to 3 different factors. Now, of course, there's pros and cons to each of these lenses, but the biggest things are weight and size, maximum aperture, and focal length. So I'm gonna go through these 3 lenses and tell you the pros and cons of each and which one is my current favorite. So guys, if you're having trouble deciding on a lens to buy, this video is for you. If you're having trouble deciding what lenses to take on a shoot, then this video is also for you. Okay, so the first lens we're gonna talk about is the 24-70 2.8. Now, I'm actually filming with this lens right now. It's my main filming lens, so I can't show you, but it is comparable to the size of the 70-200. Actually, it's probably about maybe that long, and it's definitely lighter than the 70-200, but I wanted to show you sort of the difference of about that size up compared to some of these other lenses. So some of the pros of the 24-70 2.8 is that it is a zoom lens. So you can go from 24 to 70 focal length. And that is amazing because you can use it in a lot of different situations, from indoors if you're doing a lifestyle session at someone's home, to outdoors and being able to get something a little further away. It's also a 2.8 lens, so it's a fast lens. This means that you can use it in low light situations indoors. And like I said, it's easy to use in smaller spaces because it does go to 24 millimeters. Now, the cons of this lens are, number 1, the price. So if we're looking at a brand new Nikon G lens, the price is about $1,600. Now, it's come down from when I bought mine, I guess because the new S series has come out, but that is still really expensive compared to the other lenses that we're gonna talk about. Now, if we're looking at the new S series Nikon lens, it's even more than that. Brand new, it is about $2,300 for the Z series. Weight-wise, it is 800 to 900 grams, depending on which version of this lens that you buy, which is about double the amount of weight from the other 2 lenses we're gonna discuss. So it is heavy and bulky because it, like I said, it is a lot longer. And that's definitely a con to me if you're trying to run after children. Another con to the size of it is that it can be intimidating for small children, whereas something a little bit smaller, like the 50mm 1.4 G lens, that's not really gonna intimidate anybody. So now we're gonna talk about the 50mm. This is the 50mm 1.8S for the Z mount. This is the 50mm, the old version, the 1.4 G. They're both small. Obviously this one is a lot shorter, but weight-wise, I would say they're very comparable. They come in at about 400 grams, maybe a little more, give or take. And they are fantastic being tiny like that because their presence isn't huge, so they're not as intimidating for children. I really appreciate that with the smaller lenses. At 1.8 or 1.4, you're already faster than the 2.8 24-70 lens, which also means that your maximum aperture is going to be wider. The 50mm lens is closest to what your eyes see on a full frame camera. Now, if you have a DX camera or if you have a crop sensor camera, then you're gonna have to multiply that focal length. So on a full frame camera, the 50mm is really closest to what your eyes actually see, and I really like that about that lens. The G series 1.4 new is about $450, which is amazing. And the S series 1.8 new is around $600. So they're both cheaper than the 24-70. Now, what you lose is your zoom capabilities when you go to a prime or fixed focal length lens. And another con would be that if you're in an indoor space, if it's too tight, your 50mm might actually be too long. The focal length could be too long if you're trying to get versatile shots. Now, if you're trying to just get like bus shots in your lifestyle session, then that's fine. But if you're trying to get full body too, which a lot of people do in their lifestyle portraiture sessions, just beware that if you're in a small space, it's not gonna happen. One of the pros I forgot to mention is the bokeh for the 50mm 1.4 and even the 1.8, but the 50mm 1.4 is out of this world. It is beautiful. One of the other cons is if you're trying to get that like bird's eye view of a newborn on the ground, or in a basket, then it's going to be really difficult to do with the 50mm. I actually have to use a step ladder to do that, and even then it's not exactly like as far away as I would want it to be. So now we're going to talk about the 35mm 1.8S. And yes, this is my current favorite lens I'm using for my lifestyle portrait sessions, just because it is so versatile to me and so tiny and so lightweight. So that lens comes in the lightest at 370 grams. So it's lighter than the 50 and the 24-70. And as you see, it was very compact, very small. It's faster than the 24-70 at f1.8, has a wider aperture at f1.8. It actually comes in a lot cheaper as well. So for the older Nikon G series, it comes in at about $500. Now the S series that I use is $850, so it is more than the 50mm, but I definitely think the price is worth it for this lens, and it's still half or more cheaper than the 24-70. You can use this lens in small spaces. You can do the bird's eye view shot with the newborn on the ground. You can use it outside. I used it for some beach shots. This lens is so fast. It works so good with the Z series cameras. Works well in backlit situations. Right now, this became my fast favorite, and it was really accidental how this happened because I ended up having to use it for a wedding. I bought this lens to film with, and I ended up having to use it for a wedding in such a small space on a treehouse, and I fell in love with it that day. Now, obviously, with this being a prime lens, it does not have the zoom capabilities of the 24-70. So in conclusion, yes, the Nifty 50 has always been an all-time favorite of mine and always will continue to be. However, for the indoor lifestyle photography shoots, my go-to is now the 35mm. Even though I lose the zoom capability, that's cool. My legs and feet can be the zoom for that, in and out. I can chase after children with it easier. It's got the wonderful 1.8 maximum aperture, and it's so fast, works so good in the backlit situations. So that is my personal favorite right now. So guys, I hope this video helped you make some sort of decision. If it did, please leave a comment below and subscribe. Sharing is caring, so share this in a Facebook group, and I will see you guys next time.